Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode number 2 of the Jackson versus Jackson podcast. I'm Erik T. Jackson, and he is
Ajay Jackson, spelled capital Ajay.
Coach.
Means victorious.
You got to spell his name every time. That's all good. Hey, glad to have you, Coach. Hey, we've got a great one today. Last week was awesome. This week will be even awesomer, if that's the word. Be even more awesome. So let's jump right into it. And brother AJ, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
All right. So first thing I'm going to talk about, and Coach Erik Jackson will comment about, is how about them Cowboys?
Woo! Go ahead, man.
Had a preseason game against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday night, and they've done something that I haven't seen them do in a long time. Have some outstanding special teams. Me and Coach Jackson was talking earlier today, and I had to try to think back when is the last time I've seen some electrifying punt returning or kick returning. And just thinking back without doing any really research, I was telling Coach Jackson the last time that I saw somebody really do something in the punt return game was when Dez Bryant was like a second year player when he was catching punts. And I think his second year, his third year, he broke his leg punt returning. And, he was their number 1 draft pick at that time. So that was it for him. But that's the last time, and that's probably over 10 years. It's just Dak was a rookie or a second year player.
Yeah.
That I remember somebody catching a punt and really, getting some yards. Other than that, the Cowboys basically had guys that didn't fair catch what they should have. They got no yards. They went out and got I think it was the young man Austin from the Rams, and he got hurt or something and never really got the chance to be an outstanding punt returner. But this young man named Kevontae Turpin, his number was number 2
out of TCU.
Yes,
go Horned Frogs.
Right, and he was. I discovered that he was the MVP of the USFL this past season, and he played for the New Jersey Generals. So he had a punt return for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown, and that's what you want on your football team. You want dynamic, outstanding impact players. What'd you say about that, Jack?
I say that the Cowboys, they better look under all the rocks that they can find, because they haven't had a whole lot of special teams help lately. So, and going to the USFL to find a guy that ran two kicks back in the preseason, that just shows you how desperate the Cowboys are. And he might turn out to be something. I hope he does. But I didn't even know Dez Bryant returned kicks that well for him. So I thought it was further back than that, that they hadn't had a decent returner. But good for him.
Let me say this. I think that from my standpoint, I think that's good scouting. And the reason why I say that is because don't forget, like you said, he played at TCU right in their backyard.
And they didn't get him.
Right. But what I'm saying is they must have kept an eye on him because, I like you said, I think when I was reading about him, I think he graduated about 4 years ago. So he bounced around. And but again, he was the MVP of the USFL.
Yeah.
So, you know how it is. Once you get those big time players in the first and second round, a lot of your late rounders and your free agents usually come from your region because you're able to see those guys
Absolutely.
if they got some game.
Absolutely.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think uh, he's probably solidified himself a roster spot.
Absolutely. And I was saying that when he returned the first one for a touchdown, I felt like even if the Cowboys don't keep him, he solidified himself getting picked up by someone else. But then once he returned the second one, I said, oh, okay, the Cowboys will probably keep him. So he solidified a spot on their team with that one. What's
Right,
next?
Jack. So the next thing on the agenda we want to talk about is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
With you being a Texan fan and the things that went down over the last few days, let me set you up, Jack, for our listeners in case they haven't got the latest news. So Deshaun Jackson was traded. Most people know to the
not Deshaun Jackson.
I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. That's why it's two people on a telecast.
Yes, sir.
Deshaun Watson was traded to Cleveland. A lot of controversy because of the off the field things that were going on, and I guess we'll get into it. But the latest was the NFL got involved after the arbitrator gave him 8 games. The NFL gave him 3 more games.
They gave him
so now he is suspended until game 11 of the season. And ironically, if he comes back game 12, from what I understand, game 13 is against the Texans.
Absolutely.
So that's not a coincidence.
Not at all.
When you look at the NFL, how they like to hype things up.
Absolutely.
So give me your overall read, Jack.
So, from everything that transpired, 6 games, I felt like he would get more than that off rip. So to only get 6 games, I felt like they were gonna always contest that, and he was gonna get more. And generally, what Roger Goodell wants, Roger Goodell gets because he's so powerful. So the league, everybody out there said that the league wanted him to be suspended an entire season. So I fully expected that. You know what I'm saying? But they came to a deal in the midnight hour. They came to a deal and said, okay, we'll give you an extra. So he was suspended 6 games at first, and they added 5 more. So, and a $5 million fine. So they came down with that. And of course, Tony Busby, the defendant's attorney, doesn't like the deal at all. And Roger Goodell,
but Jack,
yeah,
I think it's important that we take a commentary about the whole scenario, our opinions about what happened off the field. I think that it's important that we comment about that. I mean, we can't act like it doesn't exist. So let's go on the record and take a couple of minutes, you first, on what you thought about the whole incident and how it got to this point.
Yeah. Well, I feel like very strongly that it's a case of he went too far. I mean, there was no sex involved, but whatever he did, whatever he said, he crossed the line. He didn't cross, and I'll say this, he didn't cross it criminally because the criminal court said he didn't, but the way certain girls felt, he crossed the line in those instances, and he maintains his innocence, and they maintain he's not innocent. So a lot of it is nobody will ever know because it was what it was, only the people in the room know. But you know, I'm never gonna uh say he didn't, and I'm never gonna say he did, because I wasn't there. But just being someone that has followed this thing, you know, he didn't do anything that the courts deemed criminal, but he did do something. And I'll leave it at that on my end.
Right. Okay, Jack. When it first came down, I was I was taken by surprise. That this was coming out.
Yep.
Especially the reputation that he had. His story tells he comes from humble beginnings, and he went to all these football camps, and it's been documented that when he went to those camps, he said that he wanted to make it to the pros to help his mother.
Yep.
And then to kind of in disbelief, wanting it not to be true, but then when it was true, I felt like there's going to be a no-win situation for really anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so since he had the quote unquote bigger name, I was like, obviously that many people, something happened.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Trying to be fair, like you wasn't there, didn't have any firsthand information.
Right.
What I saw on television, what I saw on the radio, heard on the radio, and what I read online, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went into my father mode, right?
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, I got a daughter, man, and my daughter came home to me and told me that this happened to her. I wouldn't be very happy about it.
Right.
And
right.
I'm gonna tell you this, I ain't a violent man, but you remember what Buddy Ryan did to Kelvin Gilwright?
Gilbride, uh-huh.
Yeah, remember when Buddy Ryan, they on the same team, he took a punch at him?
Yeah.
Because he figured he went the wrong route.
So this is right.
Yeah,
I got you.
Like that. I really did.
So this is my thing as a dad, because I have a daughter as well. And from all the from everything said and all the evidence that was presented, it was a lot of being uncomfortable and not wanting to. This is what I tell my daughter, man. Did he force you to do any sexual acts? No. Okay, great. So did he force you to do anything you didn't want to do? I felt that. I felt uncomfortable with how it. Get out of there. I'd be like, you're taught better than that. I wouldn't put it. I would make sure, because as a masseuse, let's be honest, Deshaun Watson probably is not the first guy that's made a masseuse feel uncomfortable. I would say, you feel uncomfortable, get out of there. Do not stay and be subjected to feeling uncomfortable, and so that would be my dad mode, especially if he didn't force you to do anything that you didn't want to do.
Yeah, I'm also going to say the second part of this, because I've had some conversations in some groups, male and female.
Yeah.
My position is, he didn't take responsibility for his part of it. I think that's the way he should have been advised. So that's the way I would have advised him. But what he did was he lawyered up with a high profile lawyer that's gotten a lot of people out of jams or made it backdoor deals, right? Again, I'm saying if I was advising him, I would have said, hey man, take responsibility for your part, because here's the deal. He's not going to win this regardless if it was one person or 21 plus people. And then I would have said, hey man, suspend yourself and go get yourself some help. Not try
I hear
to
you.
maneuver because you got some high profile Houston attorney, right? And let this thing drag on. And then you still get suspended. You still get all these different things.
So,
and then people don't trust you know.
So let's
people don't wait, Jack. People don't trust your remorse.
Let's be honest,
right?
Let's be honest.
I'm saying me, Jack. I'm saying me.
So he didn't have a high profile lawyer at first. Tony Busby came to him. Let's be honest. The girls had the high profile lawyer. They came to him trying to get money first. That's what happened. So I agree with you on the other part.
Right. Let me get my thought. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the man part, taking responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I would have stayed out of sight. Yeah. I would have made a statement earlier, a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because like we said, we don't know what level of participation or whatever, right? So I'm not going to go into that because I wasn't there, wasn't a direct witness.
Right.
But something happened, right? You take responsibility for
I agree.
your part.
I agree.
Then you make a statement pertaining to it, saying, "Hey, if the truth is, hey, I didn't know I was doing this because X, Y."
I agree.
You gotta take responsibility for your part, man.
I agree.
You're gonna feel the heat anyway. Yeah. But now everybody's saying let me finish. Everybody's saying that, oh yeah, he's remorseful now because
I ain't heard nobody say that.
Oh,
everybody out here, they say he's not.
But there's always gonna be doubters on either way. So what I'm saying,
right.
Some people are saying that now, he's taking responsibility now. He's showing remorse now after the fact.
Yeah,
because now he's got 11 games. He may return. $5 million is a kick in the bucket for him, right? Mm-hmm. So you would have got that heat before. Matter of fact, there's some people who ain't gonna never forgive him and never believe him, right? Right. But what I'm saying is that's what I would have done. Now, to me, looked like they tried to go, and to me, he's very fortunate that he wasn't criminally charged. He's very fortunate. Because if it's over 20 cases, he could have been criminally charged. So that part, I think very, very.
I got my own thoughts on that, and we don't have enough time.
Plenty of time, Jack. Hey, got plenty of time. We want a really good podcast. We want to let people know what we're talking about. Let's talk about it.
So when you go to the jury that indicts you, from what I've read and heard, the burden of proof is like very, very, very little. Like they indict 99% of their cases, and for that case not to be indicted by them, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it just wasn't any evidence there, and I think it's the same thing that most people saw as far as being criminal. Like I said, it was something that went on, but as far as being criminal, he would have been indicted if there was like a smidgen of evidence. And that's just from legal experts talking about a grand jury and how they indict.
Right. Let me tell you this, Jack. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna tell you from the backstreet lawyer, Ajay Jackson, right? Who's hung around with a lot of attorneys, right? So again, both of the attorneys were high profile attorneys, definitely in Houston and around the world. So don't think they don't know the judges and they don't know the district attorneys and all of that. And no, I'm not saying any malfeasance. You like that term, Jack, malfeasance, but these cats know each other, right? And they banter back and forth and all that. That's how it works, right? Yeah. The biggest thing is the lawyers are getting paid. They on the clock, right?
Yeah, so that's why they didn't want to settle it.
Of course. But what I'm saying, Jack, is this. This is my point, right? Mm-hmm. His reputation is still very much harmfully tarnished. And in some eyes, he'll never get that back. In
This is
some eyes, he may get another chance depending on what he does really in the community at large. Now he's not with the Texans anymore. Do you think
right.
that was a good deal, a good move for them to move on from him?
Yes. I mean, they both wanted it. And again, you got to really he's been suspended a year. He's missed football for 2 years. So basically it's a 2-year suspension, you know, and a $5 million fine. So, you know, he's getting his just due. It's not like it's just 11 games or, 6. It's 2 years. So let's move on. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's going to be tough for the Texans. And when he comes back, even though it'll be his first game back, he might be rusty, blah, blah. I thought Cleveland would beat the Texans without him. So, yeah, I think they'll still win,
Right.
Next topic, brother.
All right, since we're talking about the Cleveland Browns in an offbeat sort of way, Baker Mayfield was traded, and help me out with this, Jack, to the Carolina Panthers. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do you think about that trade? And do you think Baker Mayfield is going to be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers as we go forward? Do you think he'll be the game one starter, or will it be the $18 million man,
Sam Darnold? So
the quarterback that they traded for him from the Jets and gave him $18 million for this year. So who do you think it's going to be?
So Baker Mayfield, if you guys don't know, this is his 5th year in the league. He's been through 5 offense coordinators. So the offense, his verbiage, what he has to learn has changed every year he's been in the league. Now, on top of that, this past season, he was hurt the whole season. It's been documented. He was playing with a torn labrum. And if you guys don't know that's, I think it was in his non-throwing shoulder, but it still affects you. And so, he's been a better than average quarterback before last year. So I expect him to beat Sam Darnold and win the job. And if he doesn't get hurt, I expect him to be a little bit better than average quarterback for Cleveland. I don't think he'll be a world beater. I mean, for Carolina. I don't think. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Jack. So you're saying that you would have Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback game one for the Carolina Panthers this season. That's what you're saying? You're going on the record with that?
I think he's better than Sam Darnold. I do. I mean, Sam Darnold last year, first 4 games, he was outstanding. And then the last, until they benched him, he looked pitiful. So I don't know if he got hurt. You never know, because a lot of these cats, they get shots and they play with all kinds of injuries, man. So that's why these teams always taking chances on him, because they understand. They like, well, he was this way. So, but if he can be his old self with us, maybe he can be, so. But I do think Baker Mayfield is better than Sam Darnold. He was overhyped coming out of college. And I expect Baker Mayfield to win the job, and be day one starter. Yes, I do.
So Jack, I'm gonna make it plain. I'm not gonna give a whole bunch of excuses or reasons.
Yep.
I just think that some of those things that you did state are facts. Different coordinators and different coaches, there are facts. But if you're a professional, you gotta profess what you do. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I think.
So you can't be human.
Let me finish, Jack. All right.
Ask the question.
Let me finish, and then you can answer. Let me just kind of give my summation. Again, if you're a professional, you got to profess what you believe. Now, again, I said that some of the things that you stated are facts. Yeah. Right. But here's what I think. I think Baker Mayfield is not going to elevate. He's not the quarterback that's going to come in there and elevate the Carolina Panthers. I just don't think so. First of all,
It's not going to take much to elevate
wait a minute. They got a running back situation. Christian McCaffrey, right? They gave him $64 million over 4 years.
Yep.
And he's missed something like 12 out of his last 23 games.
Yeah. He's just like Baker.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you, that was supposed to be that guy. They gave him money 2 years ago.
Right.
A lot of upfront money. Matter of fact, he was the highest paid running back in the NFL. But if you look up Christian McCaffrey on Google, you'll see a window with the windows down. Made of glass. He made of glass. And then on top of that, what's worse with that, because I'm going to give him some respect because he played in the NFL, I didn't. They running him up the middle at about, 190 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he's buffed up. But, bro, like he just, it would be a few draw plays or something. But he's got to be an edge runner, man. He's got to be an edge runner. He's got to be off tackle, when backside pull on a counter. Or he's got to be on the edge, or he's got to be a screen draw guy.
I would use him like that. I would use him like San Francisco
Peterson physically.
I would use him like they use
Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers are doing their team a disservice. And I like what you told me earlier today when we talked. Tell the viewers what you said about Matt, the ownership.
Yeah. So I feel like the way they use Cam Newton, he's big and he can run up the middle. So let's do it. Injured. McCaffrey, he's tough. He can go up the middle. Let's do it. Injured. I feel like it's no coincidence that both of these cats who could have been long cornerstones of your franchise are both injured and their careers are shortened. It's no coincidence that it happened to them, and both of them are on the Carolina Panthers franchise, and they've had two different coaching staffs. So it's from top down, man. Like, come on now. Y'all need to figure something out.
Yeah, I just don't think Baker Mayfield
is the answer.
No, I'm just saying, Jack. I just don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be thrown into that cesspool down there in Carolina.
Well,
as what you said, a little bit better than average quarterback.
Right.
With what they got going on, right? And I don't watch them very closely. Right? I'm just saying from a distance, right?
Yep.
I haven't heard any splish splashes on any guys they picked up or in their draft. Maybe they did.
I have.
But my point is,
go ahead.
I don't think with what they got going on, and I like the coach. He coached some of my guys when he was at Temple. He made Temple better. He went to Baylor, made them better. They're giving him some time. I think this is his third year. He had a 6-year deal, so I hope they give him enough time to see if he can do what he did at the college level.
Yep.
Right. But he's just about halfway there. I just don't think Baker Mayfield, using your words, just a little bit better than average quarterback, is going to elevate that group of players to the playoffs. I agree. Look who's in their division.
I agree.
They got this. They got the Saints.
Yeah,
right? Saints in that division.
They got teams they will not beat.
We're talking about the Saints, right? We're talking about who else? We talking about in that division?
NFC
Atlanta?
South. Saints, Atlanta, Carolina, and Rams. Maybe. Somebody. One more team. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt his career,
right?
Because if he doesn't help them get to the playoffs, he's gonna start to get that bust label, and it's not totally on him,
right?
It's circumstances, like you did say, Jack. But either you are excellent or you're not. And if you don't take them if he takes them to the playoffs, he'll look like a genius. But if he starts and he doesn't, it'll be the same old excuses. He hurt his shoulder. He's on his second team and third coaches and his sixth.
You have a lot of lines to cross. Now, either you're excellent or you're not. Either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not. Come on. Hey, man, it's a lot of gray out there, man.
Yeah, people don't want gray, bro.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? They want green, right? They want gold, right? They don't want gray. They want gold. They want they want that silver Super Bowl trophy, right? And when we make excuses, in my opinion, right, then what we do is we give people outs, right? They don't give. I'm just saying like this: certain people they give outs, and certain people they smash. So I'm smashing and I'm crashing, right?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Other people can't get these type of excuses. Well, he had this and, and he had this injury. Bro, it's football. Football, you're gonna get injured, bro. That's just how it is.
I mean, at the end, yeah. And I'll just end it with this. At the end of his career, you're right. The injuries won't matter.
We all got circumstances. We all got circumstances, Jack.
Him being an average quarterback is all the things gonna matter. All right, next topic, baby.
All right, so let me go on to Deion Sanders, Neon Deion.
What Deion got to say?
Coach Deion. So let's give the viewers some insight. So Deion Sanders was asked a question about the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I remember them asking him this is when Eli Manning retired. He was on one of them talk shows and, they was talking, they buttered him up. And at the end, they said, Deion, do you think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer? And of course, the cameras were right on Deion to see what he's going to say. And Deion said, hey, I'm not going to speak on Eli. However, I will say this. He said, the criteria, he said, what is the criteria for Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
We used to know what it is. He said, now it's out of focus and it's blurry, right? And and of course, people thought he was throwing off on Eli.
Yep.
But what he was saying was, right, the best of the best are Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
The best of the best. So if you got to think about it, you got to whiffle waffle around, then he might not be. Might be, but might not be. So I gave you some examples of Hall of Famers, right?
Yeah.
I said Tom Brady. I said Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I said who's the third person I said?
You said Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan, like those elite, no question. So let's stay with football. And I'll let you comment on that, but I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson is gonna hang up his career at some point if it's not already hung up. If
it's already hung up. It's already hung up.
So do you think he's a Hall of Famer? Adrian Peterson.
I don't. I think he did some good things in the league, but I don't think it rose to the status of Hall of Fame. I don't. And I think the numbers will back that up. I don't think his numbers are Hall of Fame worthy, Let me give you a name, because this guy, he should be a no doubter in my opinion, but I think in other people's opinions, he has some doubt. What do you think about Frank Gore?
Frank Gore's got the numbers. He played enough years. I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're gonna put in Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame because he threw all these yards, Frank Gore got the same thing at the running back. I mean, he's probably the years he played. Yeah. One of the guys over here saying that Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer 100%.
I agree.
He said longevity. So
that's my point.
I kind of agree with him. Right. I kind of agree with him. And that's what I'm saying. Like these quarterbacks, they play 15, 18 years now, minimum. Yeah. So if you start the majority of your games, like 85, 90% of your games, and you get all these big time stats, right? You're gonna get in. So if you're gonna put Phillip Rivers in under them circumstances, then Frank Gore deserves to be in.
Yeah, and this was my point on Frank Gore is that longevity matters. Like like people that are saying he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer are knocking him because of his longevity. I say a running back's life expectancy in the NFL is 5 years, 5.5. So you want to embrace the fact that he played like 3 times his life expectancy, so I would say 15 years, and I think it was a little more than that, maybe, and put up the 3rd most rushing yards in history. He's a no doubter in my book.
Well, then Adrian Peterson is right there too.
Adrian Peterson
has played probably about, I'd say 13, maybe 14 years.
But the difference.
Wait, Jack. Wait.
There's a difference.
13, 14 years.
And his numbers will not be there.
Well, Jack, I haven't seen the numbers, and we can compare him to Frank Gore since we think he's a Hall of Famer based on longevity. But what I'm saying is, he's probably right behind Frank Gore, give or take.
He's
with a few less years.
This is how my mind works. I guarantee you, he's number 9, maybe number 10. That? Peterson. That's how my mind. I haven't even looked it up, and I can almost guarantee it because when I see things, they seem to stick in my head, and I see number 9 right now, and that's top 10 in numbers. You're absolutely right, but his longevity, like 6 games this year, 8 games this year. Gore has been playing 16 games his whole career. That's the difference. You ain't gonna tell me
Frank Gore. Let me tell you this: in the middle of his career, Frank Gore blew out both knees.
He ain't missed.
But what I'm saying, Jack, out of those 15, 16 years that you said, he missed a couple of years because he's blown out both knees. Now, what's remarkable though is that he came back from 2 knee blowouts and still was playing at a high level all the way to the end of his career.
Yeah, Peterson.
Adrian Peterson, probably for his first 10 years, never really got injured and played. He just got injured that year when he played. I think it was with the Washington Redskins, maybe about 3 years ago, or the former Redskins.
I think he just hadn't been that good. But
I would say his first 10 years, bro, he wasn't injured.
Yeah, and he may be a Hall of Famer for sure. I just don't think, but he may definitely be. And if he's top 10 rushing, I imagine not first ballot, but yeah, I imagine he'll get in.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we got that. So, Coach, time has come upon us, and I want us to do this the right way. So, I appreciate all you guys watching out there and listening to us. Thank you, Coach, for having these debates with me. I'm Erik T. Jackson. You got anything to say, brother?
Yeah, hey, I'm hoping everyone is enjoying this podcast. I'm looking at it and saying that I think we're giving out really good information. Coach Jackson, Coach Erik Jackson, and myself, we have